Hey, deserving listeners, Netflix, Love is Blind, Season 3. Let's watch.
You should feel like the baddest.
I know.
And your husband, fiance, should preach you up to be that woman.
Yeah.
You should.
know.
Don't settle for less.
I know.
If this ain't it, don't settle for less. No.
No.
Listen,
no.
you're a beautiful woman. Don't feel upset about it.
Interesting, yeah. Zay's talking to Matt, and Matt is giving her good advice, I think. And he hears Zay saying, yeah, she's like, I know. Yeah, so maybe Zay needed that speech, that pep talk of, hey, if you don't feel like he loves you and is all guns a-blazing towards you, that's so funny, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like when I fell in love with my wife and for our entire relationship, there's never been any kind of a question. So yeah, having said that, there's a lot of different models of what a marriage can look like. There are other cultures where that it isn't really a requirement to be in love or even necessarily to be sexually attracted to someone. You know, it's an arrangement for a family, and it's arrangement to work together as a family, as parents, as family members, as a part of a larger system, you know. So there's a lot of different reasons as to why people get married, even in the United States, within the various different cultural sub-pockets. There's a lot of different ideas. So could you get married to someone because you're emotionally connected to them but not sexually attracted to them a lot? You know, you're enough sexually attracted but not a lot. Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible. Certainly not the rom-com ideal, right? But it all depends on what Zay wants. If Zay is just like, well, but yeah, I do want that, and it sounds like Zay has a hard time having enough self-esteem. She even said earlier, I don't think I included the clip, that this whole event with Cole has taken a major hit on her self-esteem, which would make sense. And that's just not the sort of beginning of a relationship that I would recommend for a friend. Now, for a client, I don't really have a say. I don't really want to influence that sort of thing with my own ideas of how things should be. So as a therapist, I would just really explore that, just like say, so what would you like? And I would guess that, well, I don't know, but I suspect that if we got to the crux of the matter for Zay, she would feel like, well, I'm probably not going to find something better. And then I would explore that, and she would say, well, he's so great, he's so pretty, and he's so wonderful, and everyone loves him or something. And then there's little old me over here. And I would say, okay, so what voice is that? Where did that come from? Who said that to you? And so we would try to identify that trauma that became internalized. I'm guessing it was from people in her past, maybe early childhood, I don't know. And then she would be able to say, that's interesting that I'm telling myself that I'm not worth it, or I can't get really what I want, so I'm always going to have to settle. And so even though I'm not getting my needs met and I'm sort of being treated like crap, you know, that's the best I can do because of who I am and my defects or whatever. And I'm guessing that would be the barrier to her being able to make a real sound choice in the situation that values herself. But I'm glad Matt is there to give her a pep talk.
I know what you said to Colleen.
I have zero feelings for Colleen.
I don't care at this point.
Why do you not care? I
No.
am shooting you straight.
No,
there is
I
one
care.
girl
You have
in this
affected,
whole thing
you
for me.
have
It's
affected
you.
my self-esteem. I hate being this couple.
Well, then don't.
Okay, I'm not quite sure what Zay was trying to get at. Maybe we'll hear it, but I understand at least part of this, which is that she has just learned from Matt the conversation between Colleen and Cole. I think that's how it went. And Zay is like, wait, they said what to each other? And now Zay is having some concerns again, and so she goes to Cole and brings that up, and then Cole gets this way, which is super defensive. He could do better by listening a little bit. Now, it's possible that he has experienced many things off camera. We've seen some of them on camera where she is exhibiting insecurity towards him and accusation. I think she's coming at him right now pretty fair. It sounded that way. And I was talking about how in season 2 when you had Danielle and Nick. Nick was at the beginning trying really to be nice to Danielle, and then over time we saw Nick overreact to things because I think he had fatigue from trying to deal with the hostility from Danielle, and so he was starting to be unfair. And so I don't know if that's what we're seeing right now.
I have zero feelings for Colleen.
I don't care at this point.
Why do you not care? I
No.
am shooting you straight.
No,
There is
I
one
care.
girl
You
in
have
this
affected,
whole thing
you
for
have
me. It's
affected
you.
my self-esteem. I hate being this couple, Cole.
Well, then don't be this couple.
Cole,
You
said
and I
something.
were good.
Do you agree? Yeah, and we're so great.
Yeah, this is almost universal that I think what's happening here is Zay is like, look, you said something to Colleen while you're engaged with me that I don't think is okay. You said blah, 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 the things that we heard him say. And I'm not okay with that. And I think what Zay is hoping is that Cole will say, you're right, I shouldn't have said that, and I won't do that again, something like that. And that's all that's often required. But so often, the Coles of the world will get super defensive and it's what I'm watching right now is just such a common scenario. And I always just think, because these kinds of fights, the things that I'll see in my office, they could go on for days, months, years. All that Cole needs to say right now is, yeah, I could see that. I don't think I was wrong, but yeah, I could see how that would bother you, and I'm sorry for saying that, and I could see how that would hurt your feelings and make you feel bad, and I'm sorry, I didn't want you to feel that way, and I'll try not to do that again. I don't plan on doing that again, and I don't know why I did it. I think it's because I was still kind of adjusting to being with you, being in a committed relationship, and it's not an excuse, but I think it's a reason. And so, yeah, and I'm kind of used to not having a filter, and I've started to realize that maybe I should a little bit. Like, even just 10% of what I just role played would probably end the conversation. But because he's being defensive, then Zay will have additional pain that she will now add to the catalog of pain and like trying to get across to him, and then he'll get more defensive, and we're off to the races.
I hate being this couple, Cole.
Well, then don't be this couple.
Cole,
You
said
and I
something.
were good.
Do you agree? Yeah, and we're so great. Do you not think we're great? Do you not think we're great?
I thought we were doing better
What
than
has
ever.
changed
But
for
now I
you?
feel like we're right back in Malibu, where you're really upset about one comment I made. And
Yeah. So Colleen had a similar defensive reaction. You could argue that Colleen had more reason to be defensive given the way that Matt was to her last time. You could argue that Zay has been in that direction, kind of, particularly that first day. But since then, we haven't seen any footage of her being unreasonably hostile. And I don't even know if it was unreasonable. But she's coming at him pretty nice. She's like, I don't want to be that couple. So I think if Cole were to just slow down and say like, okay, well, yeah, what do you want? What do you want me to do? What do you need? And because I'm guessing Zay would say something that he would be able to deliver on. He seems to be jumping the gun and just being like, I don't even want to talk about this right now. What are you saying?
you asked more about it, and I could have just lied to your face and be like, oh, babe, you're...
Yeah, the honesty has really helped me.
You and I have talked about this extensively. Colleen and I told each other how we feel about each other physically, but in the pods, it was very clear that emotionally, we had zero connection whatsoever.
All right, well, so similar to Colleen and Matt, maybe this very rough conversation that lacks the diplomacy and emotional intelligence that I would hope for them, maybe it'll help anyway because they're getting to that place. Because for Zay, she could interpret this as, oh, basically what he's saying is that he doesn't want to be with her and he wants to be with me. But I think what Zay is looking for is just like, do you understand that when you said that at the pool, how that would affect me, how that gets under my skin? I think that's all she's looking for, I think.
Unreal. Like, I proposed to you without seeing you. And then I saw you, and oh my gosh, there was another girl out of the 5 that I thought like, wow, that's more my type. That's kind of what I was expecting in marriage. But I proposed to a girl named Zenab. Do you think I thought Zenab looked like the girls I dated in the past that were named like Lily?
Okay, I don't know why someone's name would have anything to do with it. There's one person named Lily who was in a relationship with Cole prior to being on the show, and she's like, huh, what are you saying about me? But for Cole to have this way of talking, of course, his tone isn't very helpful, but
No! You and I have recounted this situation time and time again on an airplane and in Malibu, and here we are 2 weeks later, and you have a conversation with Matt. Do you see why I'm upset? Because I thought we were past that.
yeah, so I think this is a situation where both people have a legitimate gripe. For Zay, we've already been over that, and for Cole as well. I think for him, he's just like, not necessarily even this issue, but the frequent criticisms that I get. We've had a lot of distance from that first day where there was a lot of that. I suspect that's happened in addition to the first day, but maybe not. And so when I work with couples in a situation like this, I say, look, let's get away from who's right, who's wrong, and let's just meet each other's needs, because that's the way that couples function better. So get away from who's right, who's wrong. So for Cole, I'd be like, what do you think she needs? And for Zay, I'd be like, what do you think he needs? And let's just both give each other, instead of trying to defend oneself. You know, each person is saying, you did something wrong to me. No, you did something wrong to me. Instead of, hey, what do you need from me? Because I can give it, right?
And in Malibu, and here we are 2 weeks later, and you have a conversation with Matt. Do you see why I'm upset? Because I thought we were past that. I am attracted to Zay, and I have no feelings for Colleen.
Yeah, I love that whole display.
That's my display.
All right, so she says it's a display. I wonder what she means by that. Like, he is Colt, I keep wanting to say Colt. Cole is displaying something, meaning that he is either unaware or aware of another reality, that he isn't really into Zay, or he's really into Colleen or something. I will point out that he's still pronouncing her name wrong. Colleen is a weird way. My sister's name is Colleen. It's Colleen. Maybe some people pronounce it Colleen, but Colleen pronounces it Colleen. We've heard her say her name. She pronounces it Colleen. How hard is that to say? Colleen? Anyway, so Zay might be coming off of her conversation with Matt earlier, where Matt was, giving her a pep talk of just like, look, you deserve better. And I think if I were to sit down with Zay in this moment, I think what she is maybe realizing is that Cole isn't really a good match for her, and is either faking it or is trying to force it, that Cole loves her personality but isn't really physically attracted to Zay as much as he might be someone else. And so for Zay, she's like, maybe this isn't best. And so I would encourage her to communicate on that level, or really to dig down deep and figure out what she wants, right? Because if she doesn't want, and people will do this, so I wouldn't be surprised if Zay is like, yeah, I don't care what's going on with Cole internally, but I'm getting the message he's not really fully into me, and I deserve someone to be fully into me. And so I don't think I want to be in this relationship, or I have major questions. And instead of being differentiated and sitting down and really thinking about it, a lot of times the Zays of the world will just smash into their partner and just kind of start a fight and get into it without really thinking about, well, what's my mission here? Is my mission to think about breaking up? Because there's a way to do that, but instead people will just sort of get into a tussle with someone because they don't know what else to do, or they want to take it out on someone or something. Now, we could argue that Zay is completely in the right to go in this direction. Is it a display? It might be. I think I've thought that. I don't know if I've said it, but I could absolutely see Cole displaying a policy that he is totally into her, but isn't really into her. I mean, do we think Cole is going to say yes on the altar? Have we ever thought that after the first couple of days? I mean, it's possible. It didn't seem likely, though. So maybe that's what she's referring to, which, I could see that being accurate.
Like, unfortunately, Colleen is a knockout. I get it. Can't look like her.
You're a knockout,
will
too.
Never look like her, but that's fine.
I'm more attracted to you than I am her now. Because
I'm glad.
I've gotten to
that makes me feel great.
I see. So what she's trying to get across is like, I have a new attitude about your whole thing. Before, I was like, yeah, I don't deserve someone to fully be into me, so I'll take what I can get. Also, I'm really into you, so I'll take what I can get. But now I'm like second guessing that since talking with Matt. Now, because not only did Matt tell me things that you said to Colleen, but also Matt really gave me a pep talk. And I'm just like, I don't know if I'm okay with that anymore. The fact that the way, I'm sort of re-narrativizing everything that you've said. In the past, I was like, well, he's telling me the truth. I like the honesty. Sure, she's a knockout. I'm not. All that kind of narrative. Whereas now she's like, I don't know if I like this. Because I could see that, and I was saying that at the time. It's like, well, one, she deserves to have someone be fully into her, and also, even if he was thinking that Colleen was more attractive than Zay, the way he kept bringing it up, right? So, which at the time she was interpreting as, well, he's being honest, so I can't blame him for that, but I think now she's rethinking. It's just like, well, but why did he always bring it up in that way? To make me feel like crap? I don't know.
I am sorry that this whole thing has happened.
Yeah, I don't think you are, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. I don't know. Is he sorry? I don't know. Well, I don't know if it's been fully articulated to him what his transgressions have been by Zay or by anyone. So if he was given a chance, maybe he would be sorry, but probably not, right? I think he acts in a way that comes across like he feels like, well, this is how I feel, and so that's okay. And if that affects other people, then that's on them. I think his kind of attitude.
And you're on Team Matt and not Team Cole. Now you've switched sides, and I'm a bad guy.
Bro, you said something that was out of line. You did. And this is not the kind of relationship I want with you.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. I could imagine a lot of people, maybe y'all, when you saw this, because I assume you watched this before you watched me watch it, that for y'all, you're just like, yeah, Zay, you deserve better, and screw him. But I don't know. There's a chance that if I could know them fully and see from God's point of view or the universe's point of view, I'd be like, well, they're just not compatible. Someone else could be totally compatible for what Cole does and all of his things. So, yeah. I mean, it certainly didn't seem like a match made in heaven, right?
So,
Go marry Matt.
go marry Colleen.
Yeah, I think Cole is misinterpreting what she's saying. She's like, I'm Team Matt, meaning that I understand, me and Matt are on the same side, seeing that conversation that you and Colleen had that was not okay. So I'm on Team Matt. I don't want to be with Matt. That's not what she's saying. But Cole is interpreting it that way. So I don't know. Maybe they'll recover. Sometimes on the show, they often do have additional conversations, and they re-clarify off camera sometimes to apologize. And there's a world in which Cole could legit apologize and be able to be kind. I could see that happening. I could also see this being the end for them. Okay, well, let's wrap it up there and tune in next time when I continue watching. And everyone, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.